Namo Bhag. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 12, chapter entitled The Killing of the Demon Aghasura. Text 13. Please repeat. Ata Aghanama Abhyapatat Maha Asuraha Tesham Sukha Kridana Vikshana Akshamaha Nityam Yat Antaha Nijajivita Ipsubhihi Pita Amritaihi Api Amaraihi Pratikshate Athaganamabhyapatan Mahasuras Tesham Sukha Kridana Vikshanaakshamaha Nityam Yadantar Nijajivitepsubihi Pītāmritairapyamarai pratīkṣyate Athaganamabhyapatan mahasuras Tesham sukha kridana vikshanaakshamaha Nityam yadantar nijajivitepsubihi Pītāmritairapyamarai pratīkṣyate Athaganamabhyapatan mahasuras Tesham sukha kridana vikshanaakshamaha Nityam yadantar nijajivitepsubihi Pītāmritairapyamarai pratīkṣyate. Athaganamabhyapatan mahasuras Tesham sukha kridana vikshanaakshamaha Nityam yadantar nijajivitepsubihi Pītāmritairapyamarai pratīkṣyate Athaganamabhyapatan mahasuras Kakridana vikshana Nityam yadantar nijajivitepsubihi Pītāmritairapyamarai pratīkṣyate. Mataji. Athaganamabhyapatan mahasuras Tesham sukha kridana vikshanaakshamaha Nityam yadantar nijajivitepsubihi Apyamarai pratīkṣyate. Atha, thereafter, Aghanama, a very powerful demon by the name Agha, Abhyapatat, appeared on the spot. Mahasuraha, a great, extremely powerful demon. Tesham, of the coward boys. Sukha Kridanam, the enjoyment of their transcendental pastimes. Vikshana Akshamaha, being unable to see, he could not tolerate the transcendental happiness of the coward boys. Nityam, perpetually. Yadantaha, the end of the life of Aghasura. Nija Jivita Ipsubihi, just to live undisturbed by Aghasura. Pita Amritai Api, although they drank nectar every day. Amaraihi, by such demigods. Pratikshate, was also being awaited. The demigods were also awaiting the death of the great demon Aghasura. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Translation. My dear King Parikshit, thereafter there appeared a great demon named Aghasura, whose death was being awaited even by the demigods. The demigods drank nectar every day, but still they feared this demon. They feared this great demon and awaited his death. This demon could not tolerate the transcendental pleasure being enjoyed in the forest by the cowherd boys. Purport. One may ask how Krishna's pastime could be interrupted by a demon. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura answers this question by saying that although the transcendental pleasure being enjoyed by the cowherd boys could not be stopped, unless they stopped the transcendental pleasure for their various activities, they could not eat their lunch. Therefore, at lunchtime, Aghasura appeared by the arrangement of Yogamaya so that for the time being they could stop their activities and take lunch. Changing varieties are the mother of enjoyment. The cowherd boys would continuously play, then stop, and, and then again they enjoy in different way. Therefore, every day a demon would come and interrupt their sporting pastimes. The demon would be killed, and then the boys would engage again in their transcendental pastimes. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Athaganamabhyapatan Mahasuras Tesham Sukha Kridana Vikshanaakshamaha Nityam Yadantar Nija Jivitepsubihi Pitamritairapi Amarai Pratikshate. Translation. My dear King Parikshit, thereafter there appeared a great demon named Aghasura, whose death was being awaited even by the demigods. The demigods drank nectar every day, but still they feared this great demon and awaited his death. This demon could not tolerate the transcendental pleasure being enjoyed in the forest by the cowherd boys. So, Hare Krishna. So here, continuing to hear the pastime of killing of the demon Aghasura. So we can see from this verse the demon has entered. So again in upcoming verses the pastime will unfold how the demon how he was looking, how he appeared. So then how Krishna killed him. So now at this present verse, Shukadeva Goswami is explaining to Parikshit. So actually how now Aghasura has entered the Vrindavan. So and he is going to kind of expand himself and show himself like a mountain cave. and all those things will be further explained. So here again we can see one more pastime, very nice pastime of Krishna killing Aghasura. And previously already we saw how Krishna killed Putana, Bakasura, and Shakatasura, and many demons. And yeah, many acharyas they explain, very detailing all these pastimes. And in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, um, the qualities of the Lord it's been given by Rupa Goswami. So one of the quality is called Daksha. He is expert. So he is expert in everything. So we can see here in these pastimes also that Krishna is expert in killing the demons also. So and that's what Rupa Goswami explains that he is saying Bhaki Bhakagasura Denukare Keshi Trinavarta Vigata Daksha. So Krishna is called Daksha here. Why? Because so very easily he killed all the demons like Bhaki, Putana, Bakasura, Agasura, Denuka, Trinavarta, and all these demons. They were very easily killed by Krishna. So here we can see again this Agasura is a very great demon. So he'll be easily killed also by Krishna. So that's why he is called Daksha. Whatever Krishna does, he is expert in that activity, and he easily does by his own potencies. So here we can see, first of all, this is there are two some points to actually to think. Why? Because here Shukadeva Goswami is explaining when Aghasura when he came. So as soon as the demigods they saw him, they were thinking about him. So they were also disturbed. Why? Because he can clearly see that all the demigods they were actually waiting for this demon to die. So they were awaiting his death. So and further, here Pita Amritairapi Amarai Pratikshate. So Pita Amrita. So they drink nectar every day. Amarehi. They become, in one way they become immortal, but still they are very fearful of their position because of this great demon. So that's actually something to think and understand. Why? Because in general history, if you see in any Purana or Mahabharata or Ramayana, generally this is the like a system. Like there's a demon, and he wants to acquire some powers or some kind of some boon benediction. So he does many sorts of austerities. He takes many vows. We can see in Ramayana also, in like Ravana and many other demons. Like they first of all they they do the austerity, they perform the austerity, and then they please the demigods, and then they want to get the boon from the demigods. So this is what generally happens. So and also in history we have seen, and there are many cases where demigods being pleased by some of the demons, and they have given their benedictions, and also after getting the benedictions, these demons they create disturbance in the society, and we can see even including Lord Shiva was in trouble because of such benedictions given to unworthy persons. So regarding this, in the Krishna book, there is a chapter called Deliverance of Lord Shiva. So in that chapter, so we know that past time what actually happened. So Shukadeva Goswami, how he narrates is that after when Maharaj Yudhishthir he was doing this Ashwamedha Yagya. So in that assembly, so he asked a question to the Lord. So he's asking that generally we see those who worship Lord Shiva and other demigods, they are more wealthier, they are more kind of happy. I mean, happy in the sense they are more opulent than the devotees of Vishnu. So then Krishna, he explains, the Lord explains that that's the famous verse, also explained in 11th canto, but this also explained in 10th canto as well. So that verse of Yasyaham Anugrihnami. So those who are devoted to me, those are my devotees. whatever is materially disturbing them or materially binding them in this material world, I remove that from them. Like that may be, like wealth or family or any attachment to the material things. Krishna removes that from the sincere devotee. So this what the Lord does. But generally if you see demigods, they don't do that. So if you see from the purports of Krishna book, I mean what Prabhupada writes in Krishna book, so that is very interesting. So here just read few lines from the Krishna book. That is, yeah, the demigods headed by Brahma and Lord Shiva, and including Indra, Chandra, Varuna, and others, are apt to be very quickly satisfied or very quickly angered by the good or ill behavior of their devotees. So this we can see. The demigods, they either they become pleased or they become angry by the demons when they perform the austerities. And again, yeah, you can see they know very well that this demon, he will misuse it, but still years and years these demon, they take up so much austerity, they control their senses, their mind, I mean for the, for sense gratification only, but still they have the determination of not gratifying their senses when they are doing this austerity. They take up severe austerity. We can see Hiranyakashipu, what he did. It was like a not ordinary thing. So they get pleased. Same thing with Ravana also. And a famous instant happened, in Ramayana. They forget themselves, these demigods, when they see this, some of the kings, when they, or demons, when they do such austerities, they forget themselves. For example, this Agni. So Ravana was doing so much sacrifice. So calling Swaha, Swahan. So then, yeah, he was pleased. Agni Dev was pleased, so he wanted to give benediction. So even then, even at that time, all the other demigods, they warned him, better don't go, don't show yourself to this demon. He may do some harm to you. No, no, you are all envious of me. I know what it is. He's really a great devotee of me. See how he's chanting. I mean, they were very quickly they were satisfied. He was satisfied. So he came, and then he came along with his wife. So he was blessing him. All of a sudden, he saw his wife was missing already. So anyway, so they get quickly pleased. So then further Prabhupada says that, but this is not so with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. This means that every living entity within this material world, including the demigods, is conducted by the three modes of material nature. And therefore, the qualities of ignorance and passion are very prominent within the material world. Those devotees who take blessings from the demigods are also infected with material qualities, especially passion and ignorance. So Prabhupada says that, so the reason for these demigods to be quickly get satisfied or angered, that is because of the three modes of material nature. Unless we get really out of this material world, so we cannot come out of these three modes of material nature. Until we are in this material world, we are always affected by that. That we may be a demigod or a human being or an animal or a tree, whatever we are, so we are still affected unless we take shelter, unless we are devotee. So we are under this three modes of material nature. So we can, Prabhupada says that even demigods, they are under this modes of material nature. Then further, Lord Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, the principal people in the material creation, are able to bless or curse anyone. Of these three, Lord Brahma and Shiva are very easily satisfied, but also very easily angered. When when satisfied, they give benediction without consideration, and when angry, they curse the devotee without consideration. But Lord Vishnu is not like that. So Lord Vishnu is very considerate. Whenever a devotee wants something from Lord Vishnu first considers whether such a benediction will ultimately be good for a devotee. Lord Vishnu never bestows any benediction which will ultimately prove disastrous to the devotee. So that's what we can see from the pastime of Lord Shiva giving benediction to that Vrikasura. So he was pleased. I mean, the demon did really heavy austerity. He was performing, but at the same time, he couldn't see the Shiva Then what happened? He started cutting all of his limbs. He started cutting his skin, cutting his limbs, offering the sacrifice. So still Shiva didn't appear. At last he was ready to cut off his head. So this much determination these demons they had. So anyway, Shiva appeared. At last, what happened? He got the benediction that whomsoever head he touches with his hand, so that head will blast. So at last, what this demon did? So he tried to keep, he wanted to test on the Shiva's head. So that's what the demon is. So then, at that context, so Lord Vishnu, so instructing Shiva, so you should be very careful while giving the benediction to the demons. So they may misuse at any time. So that's what happens every time. Here also we can see these demigods, they drink nectar every day, but at the same time they give this unwanted benedictions to these demons, and they get powerful. And at last, what we do, what we see here, they are always awaiting his death. They are always they're in dangerous position, even though they are drinking the amrita. So that's what we can see here. So anyway, so the demon has appeared already. He would have got some benediction. Yeah, he can see, he can change his form at his will. So such a form he has taken of big snake. So he has come to the Vrindavan. So and yeah, so here we can see that all the Gopa boys they are playing with Krishna. And yeah, many description already we saw how they were playing, how they were enjoying the transcendental pastimes with the Lord. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur here kind of raises the question. At the same time he is giving the answer. So he's saying that how a demon could come and disturb the Lord's pastimes. So then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that so the pastimes they are not stopped. They never stop. They always kind of Krishna and other Gopas. They engage themselves in the transcendental pastimes. So, but what happened was during that lunch time. Anyway, they can't play at that time. So they sport for some time and they take their lunch. So then again they continue to play. So at that time, so Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that when they are about to take their lunch, so this by the will of Yogamaya, this demon Aghasura appeared. So and Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur giving such a description. And I mean, this is when we think of this few statements by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, we can see how pure he is. Like even in Bhagavatam, we see that Aghasura appeared and he was like he couldn't tolerate how the boys were enjoying. But what time he appeared, when he appeared, how he appeared, and all these things is actually revealed to a devotee, how much they have surrendered. So thus that much these pastimes are being revealed. And these acharyas mercifully they are giving us this knowledge, whatever they see with their divya pratyaksha, with their own realization. And here we can see how much deep they can see the Lord's pastimes when they are in the absorption of the Lord. So that is not ordinary thing. Not many people, not ordinary soul can do that. So, but here we can see our acharyas how much they are empowered to see the Lord's pastime, to realize that, and what would have happened. Not only Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, many acharyas, Rupa Goswami, Baladev Vidyabhushan, and all these acharyas, they have given such a wonderful commentaries and descriptions of the Lord's pastimes. So we should be we are very fortunate to have such purpose here, and we should be very grateful to Prabhupada also to giving such wonderful deep meaning or deep explanation of the Lord's pastimes here. So anyway, so here we can see the devotees are relishing the Lord's pastimes. The boys are very happily kind of enjoying with the Lord. So at last part of the shloka, so Shukadeva Goswami says that this demon could not tolerate the transcendental pleasure being enjoyed in the forest by the cowherd boys. So he has appeared, so he is seeing all these boys are playing nicely. So he could not tolerate that. And this is what Srimad Bhagavatam also explains. So, on one hand, we see Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and devotees like him are enjoying are relishing the pastimes of the Lord. On the other hand, the demon is seeing the pastime, same pastime, but he could not be happy. So that's what I mean. There is a conversation between Uddhava and Maitreya, no, Uddhava and Vidura. So in that conversation, there is a very nice verse explaining. So it's in a third canto. So they say that the Bhagavatam verse goes like, so Deha Nasyam Chatasaivam Dhiranam Dhairyavardhanam Anyesham, sorry, one second, Anyesham Dushkarataram Pashunam Viklavatmanam. So verse says that, so when the Lord does any of his pastimes, so the Lord's glorious acts and his acceptance of various transcendental forms for the performance of extraordinary pastime in the mortal world are very difficult for one other than his devotees to understand. And for the beast, they are simply a mental disturbance. So we can see, for devotees, whatever the Lord does, they relish. And for the demon, whatever the Lord does, they get disturbed. So that's what the example, the Madhvacharya in one of his writings, he gives the example of a cow. So when we see a cow, when a human being see a cow or a calf, so immediately we get pleased. We see how beautiful it is. We can, even in Goshala we can see, when newborn calf, it's very pleasing to see. But same time, if tiger or some ferocious animal, if they see that calf, so immediately what it will think? It will think of devouring it. So that's the difference between the demon and the devotee. So here Aghasura, so he could not tolerate, and this shows the envious nature of a demon. This is actually material world, envious of others. So cannot tolerate others shining. So that's the very definition of the envy. So parotkarshahana. So that means para means others, utkarsha means shining. So that we cannot tolerate. So that's what the definition of envy. So if someone is more better than us, or doing something nice, or he's having more things than us, so actually we cannot tolerate. That's what the material world is. We can, this quality, because of this envious nature, we thought, okay, why the Lord alone is enjoying, why can't we enjoy? So because of this envious nature, we came to this material world, and we carry this, unless we become a pure devotee. So until we become pure devotee, we'll be having this bad qualities. I mean, we can, while perform, I mean, at the beginning stage of devotional service, sometimes we can say, generally we hear, right? You know, no, I'm not envious of anyone, but still, he should not do that. No, why he's like this? So this shows we may try to hide our envious nature, but still it's very difficult. Not only for ordinary people, even for saints, even for great kings or great personalities, it's very difficult. So this envious nature. So that is something to be really, we have to think, because Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that there are 6 bad qualities: kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. So when we are coming to this material world, we acquire all this. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that, so all these qualities can be engaged or transformed into the good qualities, except one quality, that is envious nature. So matsarya. So kama, the desire that can be engaged in Lord's service. So, and krodha, we can see, we have seen many examples. But this envious nature that can never be transformed or used in Lord's service, that doesn't have any place in the devotional line or in the Lord's abode or with his devotees. So that is very, again, a harmful nature. That's what generally the demon exhibits. So that's the demoniac nature. So here we can see generally throughout the history, we can see how many there are incidents where because of this envious nature there were big problems. And that also we see. And also other places, some person, he will be a saintly, so he'll be a saintly king or saintly queen or even a demigod, but still that envious nature doesn't go off us, that doesn't go that very easily. For example, if you see Gandhari, so it's in Mahabharata, it is stated. So she is she is kind of glorified for her chastity, and she is also considered a saintly lady. Okay, but what happened at one time? Uh, Pandu and Kunti, they are in forest already, and Yudhishthira was born. So as soon as Gandhari and Dhritarashtra heard that Yudhishthira is already born, so Gandhari was actually, she was very upset. She wanted her child to be, begotten first, but already the Yudhishthira is born, because he is born first, so he will get the kingdom. So now Gandhari is very much disturbed. At one point of time, what she does, she is already having the baby in her womb, and that is not being delivered. Actually, if it's for a long time, she is carrying that baby in her womb. So because of her, that Prabhupada says that because of her this jealous nature, she started beating her own stomach, that baby to come out. So then at last what she got was the lump of flesh, and that was divided into 100 parts, and then the babies were born. But the thing is that, like, she is glorified as a saintly lady. She does many, she has through like whole life she does a big sacrifice she did. But we can see even then this saint, that envious nature, that comes up when the situation comes, when the situation is not so favorable for us. So we cannot hide that nature. Not only that, we can see many people, like for example in Chitraketu's pastime. So he had many queens, but he was always with the first queen, Kritadyuti, and she only had the son because of that benediction from the sage. And immediately, what other queens, what they did, they poisoned the child. That is also envious of, envious nature. And we can not only these people, and even great kings. If we see from the history of Vishwamitra, he had everything. He was a king previously, so he had everything. He had kingdom, he had wealth, he had people, he had treasury, everything he had. But still, he could not tolerate Vasistha having a small one cow, which is wish fulfilling. So he could not tolerate that. Oh, is someone more higher than me? So that should not be there. So again, we see how big war happened between Vishwamitra and Vasistha. So he was a great king, but still he could not hide his envious nature. And not only humans, even if we see from the demigod side, if we how many times we hear from the Shastras that Indra, he's creating disturbance to the people who are doing tapasya. At beginning he'll be silent, okay, for some time, he's doing. But when the tapasya and the performing after that penance becomes little more intense, then immediately he'll feel worry. He doesn't know what to do at that time. There are many interesting things what he did. Once what he did, he came as a brahmana, so he was carrying a sword. Okay, so that he was a king who was doing austerity, so he wanted to attain Indraloka. So he was performing, and it went very well, and he was for many years he was doing. But one point of time again Indra got fear whether this person he will achieve the Indra's post. So he came in disguise as a brahmana. So he just said, I have some work, just hold this sword for some time, while this king was doing tapasya. So he said, okay, anyway, keep it. Then for a few months he didn't come at all. So the slowly, what happened? The king started, he was doing tapasya, but time to time he used to see the sword, take the sword, and go here and there. And then slowly he started using it, and slowly he started killing the animals. So he kind of he forgot what he's doing. When you are doing in tapasya, you're not supposed to kill anyone or supposed to do harm to any other living entity. But slowly what happened? So by killing all the animals and doing sins apparently, so this king started losing all his piety, whatever he acquired by the kind of doing austerity. And at last he lost all his punya. So then he was bewildered. So we can see even in Indra, we can how many tricks he is having. Even in case of Prithu Maharaj, if we see, so he's stealing 100 times. He's stealing Ashwamedha horse for the for protecting his own throne. At last, Brahma had to come, pacify Prithu Maharaj, saying, "You did 99 yagya, leave this 100th, let Indra be peaceful." So anyway, Prithu Maharaj stopped. So, so this envious nature doesn't, allow us that easily to overcome it. So yeah, that's what. Yeah, not if we speak of demigods when they are like that. If what to speak of mortal, normal human beings, we are actually envious of everything. People are envious of others' wealth, others' properties, even to some extent that they are even envious of others' wives. So it's very horrible. Even that actually that is said again in Ramayana that um, there is no other sin, to considering, to desire for the other's wife. There is no other sin worse than that. This is Maricha is explaining to Ravana. So but you have, crores and crores of women with you, but better, be satisfied with that. Don't desire for others wife. But still he didn't hear. So at last he lost everything. It's because this is envious nature. Why Rama alone should enjoy? Why not I enjoy Sita? So this is demoniac nature, and that's we see. We are still, we are doing this devotional service. We're chanting. We are reading. Definitely, we have overcome some of our anarthas, but still we have to, overcome, many of this subtle anarthas like this envious nature and the kind of competitive nature. So that is very very dangerous for our devotional service. That we'll see Krishna is also explaining in Bhagavad Gita in third chapter. So that we'll see that point and conclude with the lecture. But before that, so yeah, that is very important thing, that we take shelter of the Lord and we come out of this envious nature. So that's what we can see here. So Aghasura, so he is in form of a snake. So snakes, they are generally envious creatures. So that's we hear from Bhagavatam. So they are very envious. So even the sadhus, generally they don't do any harm for other living entities, but still they are allowed to kill this snakes, serpents, or scorpions, and these living entities. Why? Because they are by birth they are very envious of other living entities. So you can see Aghasura anyway he has assumed the form of a snake. So he'll be expected, he'll be very envious of the Gopa boys and Krishna. So that is the thing here. So Shukadeva Goswami is explaining also. So he cannot tolerate other boys enjoying, and this is in fact, in one side, if we see the Artha Shastra says that these kind of envious nature for the serpent can also be, kind of, controlled. So that's what the famous shloka from the Niti Shastra. It is said that Sarpa Krura Kalak Krura Sarpat Kruratara Kalaha Mantraushadi Vasha Sarpaha Kala Krura Nivaryate. So it is said that in Shastra, so Sarpa is very cruel and it's envious. And some people, some of these human beings, they are also very envious. So Mantraushadi Vasha Sarpaha. But this serpent, the snake, can be controlled by some chanting some mantras or with the snake charmer. So he can control that. But the envious person, he can never be kind of changed, or he can never be controlled unless he changes himself. So that even Artha Shastras they say that. So it's very very dangerous quality of this envious nature. So here Krishna is killing Aghasura demon, and yeah, showing the envious nature of this material world. So yeah, we should also be, always thinking how much we have improved in our devotional service, how we are, behaving towards others. That is sometimes we can see even in our, day-to-day life while doing devotional service. It's very difficult to overcome such quality. So, but yeah, slowly reading all these pastimes of the Lord, and gradually, developing the higher taste for the Lord's service. So we'll be able to give up all these bad qualities, because that's why this movement is made for. Srila Prabhupada in one place he said that this Krishna consciousness movement is meant for, delivering people from the envious nature. So he has mentioned in one place, and also in one of his letter, he in many disciples he has given that we should not be envious of others, other devotees, or envious of any living entity. So Srila Prabhupada has warned us many times. So that's why this Krishna consciousness movement is meant for. And yeah, if we see in Krishna consciousness philosophy also, there is no way for the envious envious mentality. Why? Because see, we are all part and parcel of the Lord. We are meant to serve Him. So Krishna reciprocates with each and every living entity separately. So every living entity has a separate connection with the Lord. So he can please in the Lord in his own way. So if I please Lord in a particular way, so other living entity he'll do in a some other way. So there is no question of copying others or envying others, because Krishna is pleased with each and every living entity's service. That will be different. Like the coconut, when we see the coconut, it'll all look same. But if we look little carefully, it has a different, shape. It has a different taste or whatever. So same way, though we may think that we are doing service, like 10 people, they're, making a garland for the Lord. But Krishna will see in each and every individual soul some particular quality that will attract him. So Krishna is pleased with that quality. So when the soul understands this in the devotional life, so there is no need of envious nature at all, because I please Krishna in my way, so you are pleasing Krishna in your own way, and there is no clash between the devotees. So that's what when we say that we can see in that pastime of Narada going meeting and each and every devotee, like beginning with that king from the earth and going to Indra, and all the devotees, they're very humble. They say that, oh, this quality is very good in devotee. They appreciate every devotee appreciate other devotees' service. So that is the devotional service. Uh, that's the speciality of the devotion. So we should not be worrying, will I be able to please Krishna in this way? I was doing this service, again some other devotee came and he started taking up that service, so I'll not be able to do that, so no one will recognize me. No, nothing like that. So even 10 people does the same service, Krishna will find something different in us. So he'll be pleased with us if we do for him. So that's the beauty. So that's what Krishna says also. When we are, developing such in non-envious nature, so then this knowledge is revealed. Even in ninth chapter, that's the first verse Krishna is explaining. Raja Vidya Raja Gukhyam. No. Idam tute guhyatamam pravaksham anasuyave. So asuya means envy. Anasuya means non-envious. So if you are non-envious, if you are not envying anyone, envying the Lord, so then we'll be able to understand the Lord's message. Otherwise, what happens? Krishna says that in third chapter. So he says that those person who execute their devotional duties according to my injunctions and who follow these teachings faithfully without envy become free from the bondage of fruitive actions. But those out of envy disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, be full, and ruined in their endeavors of perfection. So Krishna warns us in in third chapter, text number 31 and 32. So Krishna says that if we follow our his instructions, so then we are slowly will be you know having our perfection. But Krishna says that if we out of envy, if we don't follow the Lord's instruction, so we'll be ruined in the path of perfection. So in this is from Bhagavad Gita, third chapter and verse number 32. So this is all not to threaten us, or not to kind of discourage, or will we be able to achieve or not, nothing like that. So this is just to warn us, we should be very careful of not envying others, or not showing that mentality like Agasura here. So that happens only by taking shelter of Guru, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and devotees, those who are in line with the parampara. So then we can gradually come out of this envious nature. So then we'll be able to offer our life in a pure way, so to Krishna's service. And I mean, just one verse came to my mind that so it's actually disease. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, I mean, in one of in every chapter, so he gives one first shloka glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in one like for example in Amoga Lila pastime. So he says, I offer my respectful obeisances to the Lord who delivered Amoga from material condition. So there is a shloka like this. For every pastime there is a shloka. So, but there is one shloka. So the one shloka is saying that Vaigunya Vranapiditaha. So I forgot that shloka. So he's saying that if someone is affected by why I forgot that first line. Okay, the first line is, I forgot the first line. Paishunya Vranapiditaha Dainyanave Nimagnoham Chaitanya Vaidyamashraye. So he's saying that, so this mentality for enjoying the sense objects and this envious nature, it's like disease. So if at all someone wants to get rid of it, and if they are humble enough to surrender to the Lord, so if they surrender to the doctor called Chaitanya Dev, so immediately he'll relieve from this disease of envious nature and mentality for enjoying the sense objects. So that's what Chaitanya Vaidyamashraye. So he's doctor. So if we want to get rid of it, so we have to take the medicine prescribed by him. So that will cure our disease, and then give the success. So I'll stop here. Any question, comments, anything to share? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।